Hi, I'm Matt Russell. Welcome to the ACM After Schools Club. In today's session, we'll be looking at live music streaming for beginners. So, one piece of equipment that you will want for simple streaming with just your mobile phone is something like this. And all this is a little holder. So it's a bit like the end of a selfie stick. It's a holder that you can put onto any type of tripod. So I can get my tripod like this, and I can stick it in like that, which means that all my filming with my mobile phone will be what's known as landscape. Or I can, with most tripods, lean one bit forward, screw it into the back, and then we will have a different system where we can tighten that up, and so it's nice and that's the good thing about having a reasonable tripod. I mean, this is obviously the small tripod. You can get big tripods, and you can get just normal mic stands will work, but I'll show you how to do that in a second. So you've got this type of mount where you can do portrait and you can do landscape as well. And that's important, obviously, for Facebook and YouTube. You're normally doing landscape, and for Instagram Live, you're normally doing portrait, but not always. So, tip for the top: a nice tripod, something to hold your mobile phone with. So, you'll see, I can put this together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do this in landscape mode. And I'm going to do it. One of the features you'll see on this particular holder is it has a special slot at the top, and that's called a shoe. And we'll see why that's useful for this type of thing in a second. Tighten that up. Flaff about for half an hour here, and let's stick it in there and get my phone ready for a bit of action. Now, what's annoying with mobile phones, often the front camera isn't as good as your rear camera, so it's kind of nice to stream with your rear camera. But you can do that, you can set it up that way, but of course it's harder to see what's actually going on if you do it like that. Or you can set it up that way. Let's just get it in. The only problem with these is you've got to be careful about things like your volume buttons and things like that, that it doesn't interfere with them. But there we've got it set up, and as you can see, it's looking at my screen, so I have to change the camera orientation. Now I'm in here now. I'm going to have to tilt it back a little bit so that it can see me better. That's better, and I'm kind of good to do a stream now, so I'm just make sure it's stuck on video. And now I'm talking to you from my lovely held mobile phone, and of course you've got to remember where your actual camera is so that you're looking at your audience. So that's the very basic system, and you can hear that the audio's okay. As we've switched over to this device, it wasn't as good as the audio that's on this device. And this is my nice camera. On this side is my nice camera, and over there is a different setup altogether. So it's limited. It's limited in what you can do. But there is a way of improving this just one step further, and I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to put my camera into the holder. Be careful that you don't press down on any of the buttons with this kind of holder. That's the only downside to this. There you can see that my video is rolling now. I'm going to start the video, and so we can say hi in there, and now we can say hi in there. Obviously you've got to have the right camera. You can have the camera the other way around. It's just obviously it's nice to be able to monitor yourself over here. So hi, at this point we've got an okay sound quality, which is okay for doing sort of acoustic guitar things, but we can up the sound quality quite considerably by plugging in
something like this.
I'm going to connect this microphone, hopefully, to my mobile phone, and you'll be able to hear the slight change in sound quality. There we go. So, hello everyone. I am now using this microphone, so hopefully it just sounds just ever so much, just a little tad better. So this type of microphone would be good if you're using like a singer and an acoustic guitar. Just sound ever so slightly better. We can go one up from that, and that's what I'll show you next. This is our sort of slightly better version of what we're doing. I can monitor myself so I can hear what I'm doing. I'm going to start my phone here. We're going to make sure that the external mic is the thing that it's looking for. So I'm going to stick video on. External mic is on. So now when I press go on this one, and we'll see it swap over, we'll be able to, you see at the moment you're just hearing my jingy jangly guitar with no effects, but I've got it going into my mixer and we've put some effects on it, and we can record it. So I can say hello everyone. You'll be able to hear in this one my beautiful RE20 mic, and you'll be able to hear my guitar. You'll be able to hear that distorted because it's plugged in. So you can have this quite nice vocal and guitar working nicely together, streaming. So that's how that works. And of course with this mic you'll only be able to hear the guitar slightly weirdly and the vocals a little bit more roomy. So we've got these types of devices, the little tiny phone mixers, microphones for your phone. They're all pretty good. However, eventually you may outgrow your phone and start moving to a more complicated setup. But you, like I said, with things like this, you can do a reasonably complicated setup. So these are very, very nice little devices for doing live streaming. And I like, I've used them quite a bit. But what we really need to do is look at the next level up, which is, of course, is doing things from a desktop computer, from a laptop or a desktop computer, and using a mixer. So very much like this, except going up to a mixer that's plugging into a computer. So normally you would be looking at a mixer that had a USB output on it, or a sound card, a bit like the one that I've got down there. A sound card will do the same trick. However, you need some kind of mixing functionality when you're doing live streaming, which you can do through a DAW, but it's a little bit complicated. So you've got loop throughs and things like that to have to think about. So in some ways, it's better to be using a live mixer of some description, and there's lots and lots of them on the market. What you're looking for is a mixer that has a USB output, and then that plugs into your computer, and you can use that as your stereo feed, and then everything coming from that mixer that you're mixing, just like this one really with the phone, except the laptop version. But this brings a whole heap of other things that you need to think about. And we'll get onto those in a second. I just want to show you a couple more things that you can do with this type of setup. Just show you one more thing. So before we move on to desktop stuff, one last thing I wanted to show you. Remember I mentioned this shoe at the top here. Lighting for your live stream can be really effective. And so obviously don't work with the light behind you because you'll just be in silhouette. Nice to have a bit of daylight streaming in on you, but you can get these sort of things. Now, not all LEDs work because they flicker with your with video, so you kind of do have to get the dedicated stuff. But I'll show you what I mean. This slides into the into the shoe, if I can actually get it to work, and then screws on nice and tight like that. Again, it's a little bit like that, and now we have a system where I can stick in my mobile phone. Again, careful I don't press all the buttons. I can get my little tripod out like that, and this is an awful tripod, by the way, and then I'm going to go to my camera, if I can actually get into my phone, and you will see when I stick this on. Hello everyone, I'm back down here, and I'm going to switch the light on, and you can see that it will just make it just that little bit better. Give me slightly shinier eyes. You'll be able to see how tired and lacking in sleep I am. But you know, it really helps videos look slightly better, just getting a little bit of nicer lighting. So that's something to think about, just to improve the production qualities again. So we had a look at doing videos using our mobile phone. Remember, every time you use your mobile phone, if you can video it, you can stream it. And then we looked at adding mixers and microphones to the mobile phone and making a slightly more sophisticated streaming. Well, you can go one further up and start using your desktop or your laptop. And I'm going to go and show you an example of that using Facebook Live and a piece of software called OBS. But there are variations of this, so this isn't the only way of doing it, but this is a pretty quick and easy way of doing it. So I'm going to quickly go over that as an overview of how to do that. So let's go over here, and I'll say hi to myself over here. I'm going to share my screen. As we can see, I'm in Facebook Live here, my Facebook page. If you go to your profile page, it says what's on your mind, and you can say, I want to do a live video. Right, this is pretty cool. So you just go to live video, and this is the same with a lot of the other platforms. YouTube has Go Live as well. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at this. I can use my camera, which is the camera that I'm using in Zoom here to record this session. I can use the camera, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a stream key. And the stream key allows me to be slightly more sophisticated. I can use a stream coming from something else. So I'm going to use this stream key. But before I start to do anything, I'm going to go over to here. And it doesn't really matter that it's posting on my timeline or posting to a page. You've got a choice. Post to the timeline, post to a page. So if you've got an artist page, you can post your live stream there. You can post it to a group. Because I'm testing, I'm just going to test this with only me as the privacy settings. You've got these other privacy settings, but I'm going to set them to only me so that I can test away happily without having to worry that my silly tests are going to be seen by the world, right? So that's pretty important. Now, over here, we'll see that I've got this stream key. Now, I'm going to copy that, and you'll see why in a minute. This is really cool. So copied the stream key. Now, a piece of software that I'm going to use is one called OBS Studio, Open Broadcaster software. And it's free to use. It's a very, very popular piece of programming. So that's what I'm going to do to piece this together. So just download it and install it on your particular device. You've even got the Linux version, of course, if you're super geeky, right? So going to download that. What I'm going to do is open up my version of it. So you won't see me being able to open it up because I'm going to have to swap my share, but I'm going to open it anyway. Right. So stop that share, and I'm going to open up OBS over here. And hopefully now you can see what OBS looks like. Now, the very first thing you can do, and actually when you first run it, it runs this wizard that configures it for exactly how you want it. But you can always run that wizard from over here, the auto configuration wizard. So
here you are, gives you some choices, optimized for streaming. Obviously, that's the one we want. We don't want it for recording unless you do want it for recording. And we're not going to use it as a virtual camera. Virtual camera is actually, if I was using it for something like Zoom, it's very, very handy. It just makes the output of this piece of studio software seem like it's a camera, right? I'm going to keep it to optimize for streaming, right? Then I'm going to go to next. I'm going to just accept the default settings because I don't know what I'm doing. Just going to say, yeah, it's fine. Then it gives you the choice here of the service that you think you might be using. You could use Twitch, you could use YouTube. In fact, this is actually a really cool list of all the kind of streaming services that you might come across. But like I said, I'm going to use Facebook Live. So I'm going to click on Facebook Live there. And look, it's asking me for a stream key. Now, if you haven't done what I'd already done, and that's clicked on and created and got the key already, you can get stream key. And what that will do is open Facebook and open up a new instance of a live stream. And you can start your setup there. So you could do everything from within OBS if you wanted, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to click in there, and I'm going to triple click so that I've got rid of what was in there before. I'm going to press Control V or Apple V or however your computer works. I'm going to paste it in, and that stream key is now pasted in. Now I'm going to press Next. And then it says the bandwidth test is about to stream randomized video. And what that does is it sends video out of your computer to Facebook Live and does a sort of network test. And this is really good because it means that your streams won't have any latency on. So they actually are just ever so slightly better than if you did it without this piece of software managing that for you. So it's there doing a bunch of stuff, basically sending random video to your Facebook stream. We've got final test. It's gone through the tests and it said, yeah, that's really cool. So bash, I'm going to apply those settings. And now we can set up OBS for what we want to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a camera. Now I'm going to show you how I've set up my camera, because I can set up any camera that's joined to this, and I can also set up any mic source. So at the moment, desktop audio can go to this. So any sound that I play on my desktop, which might be like from YouTube or some audio files that I'm playing, will come up there. I can go in here and go into the advanced properties there and select a audio source and switch it on and switch it off. So properties, that is using this microphone, which is going into my Behringer sound card, and you can just select from there which one you want to use. I'm going to use that one because that is the one I'm using. I could use the desktop microphone from my webcam by selecting that, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stick to this mic here, my posh mic. Hello. And so you can see that I'm coming up, my audio is coming up in here nicely, right? Now let's add some video. So I go to some sources here and I can add all sorts of things. I can add more audio, I can add images, I can add slideshows, which is pretty cool. But what I want to do is add some videos first of all. So I'm going to video capture device. I'm going to call it the webcam. So because I want to know what it is. So I'm going to say, okay, webcam, create new, and it's going to select, I'm going to select the webcam there. Now, the reason why I can't see a picture in there is because Zoom has taken charge of it, so it won't look at it. But trust me, it will work. Now, if I go into here and add another video source, video capture device, I'm going to call this my Posh Cam. And I'll show you how I attach that to my computer in a second. So Posh Cam is not going to be from there. It's going to be from USB video. And there you can see the camera that's behind me here. Hello. And it's now showing in there, and I'm just going to use the default configuration, right? That now brings up this camera, although what I want to do is remove some of this extra stuff that's showing on the screen, but we won't worry about that for the time being. But the moment, obviously, you wouldn't want to use that for streaming, but that's just settings in the camera that we'll get to in a second. But we can get rid of the lines and the camera settings that are showing there. But ultimately, what I've done there is I've set that up so that it will be showing on that's what's, you can see that that's now the thing that's being pumped out by this particular thing. And what I can do also is now we can go over to back to our original Facebook page. We can go back to our original Facebook page like so, and in here it's saying waiting for live video, right? So what I'm going to do is let's go back to OBS so that we can see it here. We're back in OBS and we're just going to go down here and say start streaming, right? And it will stream whatever in this particular picture here. So I'm going to start streaming and it's now streaming, right? So if I go back out to my Facebook page, there it is. You can see that I am actually streaming to Facebook now. And now I can press go live. And the moment I press go live, that Facebook is now going out live and I can test it on another page. So I'm going to go live like this and let's wait for it to kick in. And now I'm streaming. I'm streaming off my camera now. So hi everyone, like that. And I'm going to go over to my Facebook page. And so if I go to my profile page, I might be able to see my live video here firing away. And so I've got my nice posh camera and it's firing away and it's live. You can see there's a bit of a lag. So if I say hello, 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 I can probably watch myself saying hello, 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 like I just did. So you can see what the latency is there. But this is a really great setup. So I can do all sorts of things. I can change things in my OBS. So now this is running, I'm just going to leave it running. I'm going to go back to my OBS software. I'm probably going to go down to the back of my camera and see if I can get rid of some of that not annoying information. There we go. So now I've got a nice streamed bit of hello, hello, hello. So I'm now streaming nice looking stuff. And I'm picking up my audio here. I can pick up my audio from various places because it might not be in sync. So you've got to be careful that your audio is in sync. Now, how do I do it? I can, by the way, you can add really cool things. Like I could add, say, I could add any of these different sorts of things, like something from a browser as well. And that's useful for text that you want coming up and things like that. Image slideshow. Another display, you could capture what's coming off another display and put that on, which is very, very handy as well. So you can have like commentary coming up on your show as well. So you can have all sorts of things, and you can add all those things to it. What I'm going to do, however, is show you. I'm going to stop streaming now, and this will and then go back to my I'm going to stop streaming, go back to my Facebook, tell it to stop going live, and then I'll just show you a few things that you can add to make this even better. So stop streaming there. I'm going to go to my Facebook like that. You can still see that it's still going. And I'm saying bye and all those kind of things. And now it's just looping. So I'm going to go back over here and end live video like this. So it's the end of that live video. It's stopped. That will then, depending on your settings, you can delete it, or you can allow it to just show on your timeline and people can rewatch it. It's up to you. So that's one way of doing it. Now, there's lots of things that you can do to make this better. The first thing is how I've attached this camera here, how I've attached that camera to the computer is using a video capture card, right? And it's super easy. They're not particularly expensive, like £8. And you can then you can attach a very nice camera to the computer just using this type of device, and then from OBS you'll be able to look at it. If I was mixing a live band, then you just get yourself a USB mixer of some description. So for example, there's this Behringer one here that it's nice and simple. What you're looking for is there's a USB interface on the mixer, and then you can use the mixer just like you would a live mixer in any circumstance. So at a gig, a live mixer at a gig, if it's got a USB output, you can plug that into your computer and use that as the audio in to OBS that then gets sent out to your live stream. So you can have as complicated a system as you would like, and then mix that and have that audio going into OBS and just mix the two together. And there's different versions of that. There's lots of different companies make USB mixers. And if I just put USB mixer in there, there's a whole heap of them. You can go take your pick, and they go all the way up to very, very large desks like the Midas M32, for example. You can do a very sophisticated live stream mix from that directly to your OBS software. So you can download OBS, get yourself a mixer, and you can do some very sophisticated Facebook Lives. I hope that's helped. I hope that you've seen that we've gone from just videoing on your mobile phone to the kind of devices that you need to help you do that. So that's things like the little shoe I was showing you to put some lights on and things like that,
and things that you can hold your device properly. Anything you can video with your phone, you can stream it. You can go one step up and have little mixers that plug into your phone just to make that slightly more sophisticated. And then if you want to go more sophisticated still, is to get a desktop computer and use something like OBS to manage all the inputs that are going in from your sound card, from your USB mixing desk, from multiple cameras. And if you've got another person to help you with the live stream, you can have scenes and switch between all the different scenes and switch between cameras and do additional mixing and make it quite an interactive experience. Thanks very much for tuning in. Really hope that you learned something, and we'd love to hear from you if you attempt to do some live streaming yourself. So please tag us in, #ACM Club, when you're sharing to your social media. If you want to know more about the Technical Services Pathway, why not come to an open day, and you can book that at acm.ac.uk/open days.